Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Opinions New by Dr. Frank Tianshi. I'm Frank. Okay. In this episode, I want to share with you some of my experience with in industry. You know, and I've been sharing that with many friends. Especially new immigrants, students, other people coming to America who are seeking new jobs or new life in America. You know, and they asked me about how to find jobs in America, what is industry like, working in industry like everything. So actually, I had been working in industry for 8 years before I jumped into academic field, become educator, right? And in 8 years, I actually was fired 3 times. Okay? And let me share with you the story. The first one, the first time I was fired, okay, in this episode. Okay, uh, before I while I was bef- when I came to this country, came to America in 1986. I never really worked in China while I was in China. Maybe just once. It's not really like a formal job. And that was in I think it's between 1984 and 86. I was a graduate student at Peking University, studying geochemistry and cosmochemistry. Right? And then one summer, I went back to my hometown in the city of Dandong in Liaoning province. And my parents' workplace is a meteorological bureau. They are meteorologists or scientists, engineers, and they want the company or workplace, unit, what kind of work unit, once have wanted to have their young employees trained, you know, by some have some more like advanced training, like on the job training. They needed someone to teach them the calculus. So I was one to teach them calculus, and I got paid for that. That was my first teaching experience or working experience, but it's not really a formal job, right? And then I came to America. First, in America, my first, the school I attended was Purdue University in Indiana. I was there to pursue a degree in chemistry. Boring chemistry. Sorry to chemists. No, actually, more specifically, my major field in this doctoral program is actually analytical chemistry. And we use analytical methods to study geochemistry and the cosmochemistry issues. Like we study things like analyze things like meteorites. You heard about meteorites? Rocks from the skies, and the lunar soil, moon, dust or soil collected by Apollo projects from the moon, right? And even meteorite from Mars. Surprising, right? So this study is actually is not that bad. This study of the origin of the Earth and origin of the universe sounds quite impressive, right? Yeah, but I didn't really enjoy too much about chemistry. I didn't really like chemistry, and so especially organic chemistry. Because there's so many things you just have to memorize. I hate to memorize things. It's a little bit boring. And then I was there. The first time, first time I came, that was in 1986, August of 1986, and I was on a scholarship and a research scholarship from my professor. He's a great guy, and chemistry professor. And I remember my first year salary was $600 a month, RA, $600 a month. Year two, I got $700 a month. Year three, $800 a month. It's not pretty good, pretty bad. But then later on, the funding, research funding, my boss, the professor got was cut, and then I didn't have enough, scholarship, so I was okay. It was okay for me to get some extra, make some extra money, do a part-time job in Chinese restaurant. So working for a Chinese restaurant in West Lafayette, Indiana, West Lafayette is where Purdue University is located. It's actually my first job, real job in America. My first job in America. Right? I was a waiter. And in the beginning, I was very happy. It was fun. Wow, it was fascinating. Working for America for some money, cash money. Away from academia. And so I have read. I'm sure many people, many Chinese students studying America have read or heard about those legendary experience working in Chinese restaurants, and instead of just working in the lab, it's a different story, different experience. So I was excited to to be outside of a lab and see what American society is really like. It's a little bit different from the academic world. Right? So I started working for the restaurant, Chinese restaurant, and for about 2 3 weeks, a month or so, and it was fascinating. When I saw the menus, the kitchen, the coolers, ice cooler, huge ice cooler, walk-in coolers, refrigerators, and meat grinders, dishwasher, huge dishwashers, working tons of dishes at the same time. Everything was fascinating, new, fresh to me. So I want to ask questions on everything I saw. Right? The restaurant was owned by three people, right? A brother and two brothers, and the elder brother's his wife. The three of them, right? They are the owners of the restaurant. Basically, it's just like many Chinese restaurants working operating in America. The two brothers work in the kitchen. They were the chefs, two chefs, and then the woman, the elderly brother's wife, she is the one to be she's a cashier and waitress and the hostess and front manager, right? Managing everything, all the waitress, waiter, waitress, us. Okay. So and then of course we work at the restaurant and serve tables and bring the dishes to the people and make our income as from tips. Virtually, I think mostly tips. I don't think that we were given a paid base salary. So, but anyway, so excuse me. When we were not that busy, we would chat with the chef and the owners, right? But sometimes we found that it's hard for us to have a really good talk, deep talk, because we when I say we were the waiters and waitresses. We're all mostly students, and young people, students. I was younger then, and because what we were interested and what they were interested totally different. And we have very different social experience, growing up. We came here, we were the ones, we normally, we went to universities in China and get to a graduate school in America, came here and study to go towards advanced degrees, normally masters or PhDs. Yeah, they came here just to work, to have their business, to run their own restaurants. So we have very different background, right? And oftentimes I found that they're very heavy-hearted, very in blue or sorrow mood, for some reasons I don't know, and they don't want to share openly with other people. Kind of like, it's hard, this is hard to believe, right? And well, I remember one day, once the owner, the big guy, asked me to look at the English document for him, and he asked me to translate for him. So I did that, and he was very happy, very happy. And when we had dinner in the restaurant, halfway through dinner, our dinner, we don't eat the same thing on the menu. Okay, working in the restaurant, we don't eat we eat some Chinese food, but the Chinese food is like was prepared by the chef, the owner chef, in a way that's kind of like I would say it's halfway between the dishes on the menu and homemade Chinese food. So it's not bad, but not too good, right? That night, he was very happy. I translated something for him, right? He said, "Okay, I'm going to give you another dish, add another dish." Then he went to the kitchen, in a few minutes, so fast, came back with the large plate of stir fried, what do you call it, the snow pea tips. If you ever been to a Chinese restaurant, ask for like stir fried or garlic snow pea tips. Very green vegetable stir fried, very delicious. And so we were happy. Yeah, everyone was happy, right? So those are the good old days. Good old days, right? Then one day I saw the younger brother, or the second one, second in rank in the ownership. He's chef too, right? He was doing something I thought it was weird in the kitchen. You know what he did? He actually put the condensed sweetened condensed milk, raw egg, and something else. Put it in the cup and use a blender to blend it. And then he just drank the whole thing just like that. I was curious and asked him, "Hey, what is that? I mean, the thing is raw, right? It's got a raw egg in there, right? With its condensed milk, and is that good?" Or I was just so curious and asked him. But that made him really, really mad. His face was red, and I just still don't know why that he was so mad at me. So basically, just so mad at me and didn't say anything to me. Then I said, "Oh my gosh, I'm in trouble. I'm in trouble." Then I just shut up, shut my mouth up, and started to do something like on the side, prepare napkins, plates, forks and knives, everything, right? And then after a little while, I saw this younger brother, went to talk to the woman, the female. The he's actually, he should be his sister-in-law, right? The older brother's, wife, and they chatted, somewhere, over there in the front, by the cash register for a while. And then after a while, after that, and she, pointed at me and say, "Hey, come over here to the front desk." And I went there, and she just opened the cash register, got some cash there, and to give to me, and said, "Hey, sorry, we can't use you anymore. Yeah, you need to go. This is your money. This is your salary, or wages." I said, "Why?" I realized, darn it, I'm fired. I'm fired. Why? I said, "Why? Did I make a mistake? Could you at least tell me what I did wrong?" Right? She would not even raise her head to talk to me. She just said something, lower her head, said, "There's nothing to say, nothing to tell. That's it. That's it." That's the first time I was fired in America, in a restaurant run by Chinese Americans for the first, and that's my first job as a waiter. Gone. Right? Now, in retrospect, let's go looking back. At that time, I was really angry, a little angry, upset, very upset. I really very feel resentful towards the owners' families, right? But now, in retrospect, it seemed to me that it's okay, it's right. Actually, they're doing the right thing to fire me, right? At least I didn't do three things right. Okay, three things right. First, I wasn't really fast and quick in doing the waiter's job, in cleaning the tables. We do like a busboy type of work too, right? When I go travel from the kitchen to the front, to the restaurant, to the room, dining room, I would go out, take some dishes with me. When I come back, I sometimes come back to the kitchen empty-handed, or maybe just one dirty dish. So I was not really efficient. But she, the owner lady, she could actually carry, three, four, seven, seven, eight dishes in her hands, coming back and forth. You never see her empty-handed. You know, that's a difference, right? She, so she's good, right? That's first thing I didn't do right. And second thing is when we're not that busy, I wasn't really volunteering or do something. I was just there, standing there chatting with other waiter and waitress. So not that good, right? Not a good employee. And third, I even, I shouldn't, I shouldn't have asked those people things that's not beyond my pay scale, right? It's maybe some personal matters of the owners. It's none of my business. I really shouldn't have asked. So, shouldn't have asked him that question. So basically, hey, it's my fault that I was fired. Fired. So there's nothing to complain about. Okay, this is my first story of being fired in America. I'll talk to you next time.